Hi, YouTube. I hope you're all doing well. Oh, I have a smudge. Do you see that? It's a light. The light? Wow, that's really weird. Looks like I have a piece of something on my face. That's crazy. Oh, well, whatever. I'm gonna just go for it. um, yeah. I for about the last month I've had on my mind this is bugging the crap out of me. Okay, wait. Maybe. Yeah. Well, that's really weird. Maybe I am swollen and I don't know it. That could be. Hmm. I guess I didn't look in the mirror. Well, anyway, so the last month or so, I've had this on my mind as far as certain men out on the internet saying how much fear, how badly they're afraid of something. Oh, like, wow, that's really scary, or that makes me afraid. And I'm thinking, who are you? Like, grow a backbone already. Why? And then, see, I saw a few days ago Tucker Carlson had, and he has this quite often, and he did work for the CIA as far as I know. Maybe he never quit. Um, well, this is scary was his headline. And I'm thinking, wow, you're really, really a good leader as a man there. That's really comforting to all the women and children out on this planet reading his words. Why, that's scary. Oh dear God. You see my point? This for like a month now. It really hit me um about a month ago. I was on a live stream and somebody same birthday as me, I would think would probably be kind of a adventurous, um, independent, um, fearless, that type. I mean, I get fearful once in a while, but it doesn't last long. It's like, out of here with that. So when I hear these men talking like that, it's like, what is wrong with you? I think you should probably, say a prayer before you come on and do live streams so you aren't like scaring everybody with your weakness there. I'm not saying, like I said, that none of us don't get afraid at times in our lives, but it seems like to be an over excessive amount of men doing this. That's what's bugging me. If I'm not doing it, why are these men doing this? Yeah, sure, I'm trained in combat, but that doesn't mean, um, even if they're not, you know, it doesn't make me brain dead because I'm not afraid of the people that are pushing all these agendas. I just don't believe they're not going to benefit for it in the long run. They're not going to have the best outcome from what they've put in to the ether towards other people. That's just my outlook on this whole thing. I don't know. Tell me what you think when you're listening to somebody or you see those posts or those videos and these people are saying, professing their fear. What does that make you feel like? I mean, uh, I think you get what I mean. Yeah, it's just not cool. It's like, did I, like, did I miss something that, I don't know, something in this world that's probably supposed to be here and it isn't? Because I can't believe. Now, what would be scary is somebody like that telling me how afraid they are right in front of me. Then I would have the opportunity to show them, or, just with my words, really what they should be fearing. you know, surely isn't anything these governments are doing. You know, people, we have been doing this for hundreds of years with these freaks out here, trying to push fear on us. You know, when's it gonna quit? So, sort of like the narcissist bully, they keep threatening you, and then one day you just get sick of it and you decide to fight back. And you do put the fear of God in them because they didn't expect it. Well, that's kind of what's gonna happen. I think in a lot of people, we're probably getting really sick of hearing all this rhetoric out there with the fear, the push for fear. So I hope that's a little comforting for you in some respects, because um, it's been going on for generation after generation, same old thing, you know, same day over and over, except for the weather. And the weatherman changes every once in a while, but yeah, it's the same type of thing that's always been going on. Ugh, my t-shirt's strangling me. Just a sec. Oh, okay, better. Um, yeah. So before I got on here, I thought, well, how do I explain my thoughts on this? I mean, I'm not worried about it or anything because I know the Spirit of God would work through me. But it's like, how do I make it widespread enough on this platform that we can stop these people from using that type of language? It all it does is you're glorifying, or they are glorifying the monsters. You know, if you don't glorify a monster, they become less monstrous. You know, it is true. Of course, too. I mean, if you're confronting a bully and they've done it all the time, I mean, it probably isn't going to stop them from being a bully. They might even get worse. But I guess it depends on the amount of fear that a person is carrying within themselves. But I really hope that no young people read those headlines. How scary crap is. It's horrible. It really is. These people need to be dunked underwater and baptized for like many minutes. You know, seriously. Yeah. Anyway. So, cheers, everybody. Happy weekend to you. I got all my work done this morning, and then I made a nice meal for later on, chicken breasts with rice-a-roni, if you know what that is. Rice and pasta mixed. So, vermicelli, and you brown it first, and then you add the water and the seasoning, and cook it just like rice for like 25 minutes or whatever. So I got that all ready for later. So Doug and the kitties already had some of it. They like it. So was gonna have cranberries with it. I thought I had a can of cranberries. I didn't want it, but I knew Doug would, but I couldn't find it. One thing I really don't like, kind of, it depends on what it is, but like the salty and sweet flavors together very much. I either like one or the other. I don't really like them combined, you know, but it depends on what it is. Like some people like chocolate covered pretzels. Not big on it. Or they'll get like candy that has. I got these really pretty candies one time, and they had sprinkles of sea salt on it. It just wasn't kind of my thing. And Doug brought home these cookies one time that were, there's still some in the freezer because I really just don't like them. They're like, I don't think he does either. They were supposed to be chocolate chip, caramel, and sea salt. And they sprinkled the salt on top, and it was like, I don't know. Just not my thing. So I'm more of a salty person. As far as if you gave me a choice and I could only have one, I'd pick the salty thing. So I have that on my mind because I was listening to a neuroscientist. I think his name is Andrew Huberman, um, talking about salt and the effects on it on your body, and if you're like hypertensive, um, or like, and that could be from high or low blood pressure, and how actually adding more salt in your diet might be a good thing for you. For me, I know it is, or if people like women, menstruate, men don't, just so for the record, um, you might need to increase your salt intake and your fluid intake, so the blood can go through your kidneys and clean it better and produce more blood for you. And it might take a little more salt in your diet for that. And then, of course, there's other factors for people why you would want to like exercise if you'd want to increase your sodium intake or whatever. But yeah, so but yeah, that was interesting. He, like I say, he's a neuroscientist, and he was sharing different um, studies that they had done around the world, and that's what's kind of nice about scientists that will get together and they admit, yes, we don't know everything, but sharing the studies and listening to the studies that have been done are really interesting to me, and whether it's been done on animals or humans and the effects of it and that type of thing. So, yeah, I like listening to that. I was talking to Doug a little bit about what I was listening to, and then he started talking politics. I go, how did we start? How did I start talking from science and health, neuroscience, and it went into politics? And he did have an answer for it, amazingly so. But oh, he had shared last night. I haven't looked at it, but where Hillary Clinton, probably a look-alike, he thinks, because was getting arrested. And I said, I don't believe it. That's bullshit, you know. And he said, well, yeah, it's probably a body double. Well, well, then that just didn't happen, did it? But I said, yeah, that's what I figured. That just means it didn't happen. So I couldn't really share something like, let's see, now that could be a setup to get person even squelched on this platform for misinformation. If I were to share something like that and it's not true, yeah, bye bye, Barb. It's like, no, I'm not. I'm not just falling for what anybody says and making it like as a matter of fact when I don't know that. For a matter of fact, I have not seen any arrest records. I haven't even seen any, what would it be, warrant for anybody's arrest or anything like that. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't think it's real. So anyway, my oldest granddaughter, what a character. She's like, now keep in mind, this is a girl that's homeschooled and uh, doesn't isn't on any kind of substance, let alone an illegal substance. But she's like, is any other artist out there up until 3 a.m. like I am with my crackhead ass? And I'm like, no way. Okay, that was a little hard to spit out. It was a tiny bit hard to read too, and I'm thinking, well, anyway, if you knew her, that you'd laugh, or maybe you laughed anyway. But yeah, she's been around some pretty horrible things, so when she says something, it really doesn't surprise me. She's like, and then the rest of it is while my mom's in her room asleep, thinking that I am too. That's the funny part. No, I I'm awake a lot at 3 a.m. you know. Although I have been sleeping pretty good the last few days. I I do know that it's the Spirit of God comforting me because I've been pretty exhausted. So I really do know that. I can't prove it, but I know that. So, yeah. Also, was it yesterday when my granddaughter was making them buttons I was telling you about out of sliced avocado seeds, poking holes in them and baking them and painting them different colors for the colors her friends like. I'll have to show her. There's a trick. You take about 2 feet of yarn or string or whatever, and you can put it through a big old button like that. And then you can take it and you twist it up with the momentum like that. And then you get it as tight as you can get it. And then you pull it and it just keeps twirling until it's unwound and it will twirl the other way. Just kind of a little toy we used to make when we were kids. So I'll have to show her that trick someday. She could use with her buttons, but she also made a fake egg to prank her family. It looked beautiful. It was the white, and then it looked like a fried egg, and she put pepper on it. It was all fake. Just she molded it. She made the white, and then she took the yellow and made the yolk, and then peppered it. And yeah, um, the funny kid, right? She is the same zodiac sign as both my sons, and both of them were terrible, are rather, or were when they were little even, pranksters. Terribly so. It was April Fool's Day, 1990, that spring. And the kids were in the yard and with some neighbor kids. And, I could hear them. They're right outside my kitchen window, climbing on a tree. And I had told them to stay out of that tree too. But that's another story because I had had some nightmares with my oldest kid and then I'll tell you about a nightmare too that's significant. That'll end it out pretty good. Well, anyway, so my youngest one come running in, John, and he's like, Mom, Luke fell out of the tree and he's laying on the ground. And I ran out there and they go, April Fools. Not funny. Not funny at all. Almost had a flipping heart attack, you know. So now I'll tell you about a nightmare I used to have, and this is in correlation with that movie Pet Goat 2. This is like real nightmare stuff that they brought to life in that video. I mean, even the guy that's drowning in the swamp, there's a kid with brown eyes and sort of reddish brown hair, just like my youngest son. But I used to have this nightmare where my sons and I were chased out of this castle by these like gargoyle type vampire things. And sometimes they'd get me and sometimes they wouldn't. But in this one time in particular, my oldest son and I were getting away, and their dad wouldn't help for some reason. My youngest kid ended up in a swamp, and he was in there and he was drowning, and nobody would help him, and I would wake up just crying. And the people that I knew in my life at that time, even their dad, were all standing around the shore, and nobody would go in and help that kid. So whenever I see that Pet Goat 2 thing, in fact, so many things in that movie correlate with a lot of things in my life. It's just, it's to me not even a coincidence, because in real, actual life, my kids did get drowned in a swamp, as far as metaphorically speaking. So, but yeah, when I see that, that's what I think is my kid. you know, it's a little hard to watch, for real. So it is. The whole, the whole thing. Even the girl that looks like me with the heart on her cheek. Yeah. It's not a coincidence. These people are mocking me. you know. Anyway, that's what I think. Maybe somebody else is thinking the same type of thing with that movie. I don't know. But or how thoughts go through the ether, and we all share those type of thoughts will come into our minds, and it's out there, it goes through our brain and around the world in everybody. So you know I guess I can't just accuse the writers of that story for looking into what really freaked me out in my life or anything like that. But I used to have some really horrific nightmares. They did end. Um, I've had a few, but not like I used to have. Wow. I mean, sleeping was terrifying for me. And then it sort of became something to look forward to because my life was like that too. So at least I knew that the dreams weren't real. So that's weird but true. I don't think I've ever seen that movie in its entirety, but I've seen channels like Robin's Hood use it to explain a lot of how he feels in his life, like as far as, um, waking up in this nightmare reality. Still, when a person isn't aware, like he wasn't even aware of, like the fish, these black and white fish are jumping in a boat as this figure's going through the canal. It's like a Christ figure, and they're jumping in the boat. And it's sort of like when Robin's Hood would do a live stream, and I saw all these people in there that I knew were not there to benefit him but themselves, like the women from the Eastern Star or whatever, or people that are Masonically connected in one extreme or another, because these men have the opportunity to help each other rise, but they're not doing that. They're out for themselves. You know, it's very true. Was listening to a Hamish High Frequency Tribe. Um, it's just called High Frequency Tribe. But Hamish Patterson is the guy's name. And him and another guest of his, Trent, were talking about how these people will make like videos, like how they're living down by the river in their van, and they'll show you different things they're doing, like it's a production, and but they don't show you where they work or how they got there. They didn't say that. I added that part, but they were talking about these people that make videos that do a lot of editing that take a lot of time. Um, but you know that they probably have help with what they're doing. Now, there's people that I know that literally do take their own personal time and put hours of work into that, communicating with people, because that's where the spirit is guiding them, and that's what they're doing. And their channels aren't like, you know, a 500,000 subscribers or something. They're working hard, talking to other people on the planet. But I never bought this down by the river in the band type of thing. Not really. I've been out on the road in those types of situations, and you really don't have time to make major productions when you're living a harder life with less creature comforts. It's not like that. When you have to haul your water and worry about where you're going to clean yourself or your dishes, or if you're buying paper plates or whatever, where'd you get the money to buy those? All these questions. So yeah, I think and it's like these people who they go out into the woods and they build this cabin and they're homesteading, but it doesn't show you people like Doug or I that it took 3 decades to build up things to put in that house, like your wood stove or your cook stove, or the expense of those types of things, or the expense of what a cord of wood would be, or even the chainsaw to cut it, and your splitting mauls and your axe, um, and then if you do have like a wood splitter or those types of things, they don't you if you've ever cut down a tree, chopped it into lengths, and then chunked it out. If you've ever split a piece of wood to chunk it out to put in a stove, you would find out how precious that one very, very small chunk of wood is worth after you got through processing it. So I don't believe half of what these people are doing, and I call total bullshit on most of it. It doesn't work like that. You're so busy trying to make things go around in your life, you don't really have time to make videos. If it were back in the days right now when we first were building this place up and watering the trees and all the things it takes even to plant a garden and stuff, you really don't have time to set up equipment and film yourself doing these things. You might, and I'm sure there are some that do, but they've got help, is what I'm telling you. So if you see somebody out there um, taking their own time doing these things and showing you these things, and they're really not showing you the hardships of what it is. They'll show you the glorification part, but not really how they got there. Is what I'm trying to explain. So it's like that Robin Hood that I watch. He used to timestamp a lot of videos to bring out a certain part of the video that he could use describing something, and that takes a lot of work, and I know it does. But now he'll kind of go through videos of other people's and listen to it and then speak. That's cool, to me. I think that's all right. Nothing wrong with that. If people want to go back and even timestamp it for themselves, they could. Well, anyway, just saying hello, and I just really want to make it so clear with these men out there. It's a psychological operation pushing that. Oh, that's scary. Give me a break. For God's sakes, people. You know, don't you agree? Isn't it sickening? I mean, yeah, but who, like, even with when you're small and your dad's there, who the hell wants to hear the man, the figure of strength in their life, telling them that's scary? I don't think so. These men either need to grow a backbone or really shut the hell up. And that is, I'm going to name this video to address that very topic. These men are shills. They are being used by the establishment that are keeping the people down. And I'm calling shame on them. And if you're one of them watching me, shame on you, dude. Man up, stop the crap, and start taking care of the weaker people on this planet instead of just worrying about yourself, because they need strength. You, everybody, we need to exhibit more strengths in this situation than cowering to what they want us to do. And that's a fact. And I'm not done on this subject, something tells me, because it's been bugging me for a very long time. So, all right, everybody, have a wonderful night or day wherever you're at. I'll talk to you soon. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA, and that thing is still there. Whatever it is. Wow. I don't know. I've been hit there before.